announced that they would dialogue with Dalai Lama's representatives, certainly also eased tensions, but we've seen tensions between Chinese supporters and Japanese right-wingers, but no injuries, no major incidents. Security was actually very tight in Nagano, with no less than 3,000 police officers who were deployed along the torch course, and it would have been very difficult for demonstrators to do anything big. So the Japanese organizers now, I can say, seem quite proud, but also very relieved, and Japan really wanted the torch relay to be a success.
Natalie, relations have been frosty between Japan and China, and the torch relay came at a sensitive time for relations between the two countries.
Yes, that's absolutely right. The Chinese President Hu Jintao will make an official visit to Japan from May 6 to 10. It's a highly expected visit, as it will be the first from the Chinese President in 10 years. Since the new Japanese Prime Minister took office last September, tensions have eased between the two countries, and Tokyo and Beijing are now trying to build a strategic partnership. So Tokyo didn't want this process to be harmed by protests in Nagano. And regarding the Beijing Olympics, the Japanese Prime Minister has so far no intention to boycott the opening ceremony, but the imperial family has said that it will not attend the event in Beijing. So we now have to see whether a dialogue between Beijing and Dalai Lama's representatives will have them change their minds.
All right, Natalie Touré reporting that from Tokyo. Thank you very much. Much of the controversy during the global tour of the Olympic flame comes after China's crackdown on anti-Chinese protesters in Tibet last month. Beijing has blamed the Dalai Lama for the unrest, but it now says it's willing to open talks with the exiled spiritual leader. The move has been welcomed by leaders across the world.
European leaders have been quick to congratulate China for opening talks with Tibet over its status. But the breakthrough is tempered by the prospect of history repeating itself. China and Tibet have talked about the region's future at least 6 times in the last 7 years. The first discussions over Tibet's status were held as early as the mid-1950s, after China took control of the region. But the gulf between the two sides was always too great to bridge. China felt Tibetans wanted nothing short of full independence. Tibet's spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, has said he simply wants autonomy for a region that has enjoyed periods of self-rule. In Beijing on Friday, there was a feeling that gap had narrowed.
They are ready to discuss everything except sovereignty over Tibet. And so if the concern of the Dalai Lama is, as he has always stated, the respect for cultural identity, religious identity and autonomy inside China, I believe there is real room for a dialogue.
Few are expecting a significant development between two sides with a history of bloody confrontation. Only representatives will meet, not the leadership. But with the Olympics looming, China's decision to extend an olive branch to Tibet, however small, marks a significant shift by a regime under pressure to improve its image.
The party of Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe looks increasingly unlikely to win back control of the parliament. A partial recount after the election at the end of last month is underway. The ZANU-PF party needs to win 9 out of the 10 parliamentary seats, which remain undeclared if it is to overturn the opposition's victory. Mugabe himself remains defiant, and tensions are mounting after authorities raided the offices of the opposition